Alright, so this morning I transferred 3 full totes. You can see the tote in the middle is a higher capacity tote. These other two are your 275. That's a 325 over there. So about 875 gallons I was able to bring over. Now we want to transfer it using this 2-inch hose. 3/4 hose just takes forever. I wanted to show you a couple of these fittings I did get from Harbor Freight. Cam lock fittings here, gator lock. They're pretty robust, pretty well made. There's a gasket here in the center that'll seat against the surface down here, as you can see. So that one may be I'm noticing now I don't have anything under here to get under, so I may have to get creative with that one. With the others it should work better. I'm going to be working on adapting the hose down there on the tank so we can get started. I spaced the totes out with these blocks, anticipating that I could have issues getting water out of any one of these totes. So that way you could skip a tote and get access, so you didn't have them butted up against each other. So easily got the hose on the second tote. The first tote is a bit of an issue because the connection is sitting on the board over there. So I've got to think more about that. Meanwhile, I'll just work off of this second tote. All right, one fatal flaw in my design. If I was going to come in from the bottom, I would have needed a valve right here, so I could valve off and connect 2-inch. What I can do is come off the top, drop down with 1.5 inches, 90 over here, and connect the hose. So that's what I'm going to work on doing right now and get that set up, and then start offloading the first tote with gravity. So basically, trying to give it a little bit better angle to intercept the hose as it comes around, and then follow this pipe up and in. So we'll go up top, we'll give it a try. All right, so I got the hose is stretched out and then goes down the hill. I probably could have done this with 50 feet, but 100 feet gives me more options later on, because this won't be the only thing we use this for. And open the valve slowly so we start to fill the hose. There we go. I can see already we're getting heaped up a little bit. Let me open the valve the rest of the way and see if it'll help overcome some of that. All right. When I first got it running, it blew apart. So I'm going to put that right there and show you. There's no joke, and there's pressure behind this too. So what took with that 3/4 hose, what took like hours will now come down here in minutes. Fantastic. We're gonna get that one done. We're gonna move on to the next one. And yeah, it's raining, but I don't have the gutters connected to the tank yet. So the other thing is, I wanted to do a proof of concept on what was feasibility behind putting 3 totes in the dump trailer. How well would it tow? Because that's a lot of tongue weight when you put the first tote in the front, and then you have a tote that's over the front axle and partially in the front, and then you have the last tote over the rear axle and partially in the back. Towed fine, no issues. You want to adjust your brake controller for towing, almost 900 gallons of water. Towed fine. That proof of concept is sound because there's periods of time where there is no rain. So I'd have to be bringing water out. Whether that's water you get locally, you bring water from your home well, whatever it is. So proof of concept worked. Plus we'll get this thing even more full. Yes, I still need to connect the gutter, but that's hours of work for me to do versus this is only minutes of work for me to do to get this connected and start flowing water. So it's working real well. I'm going to do a view over the water hose one more time And look, there's no pump. I'm just using, you know, the delta in the elevation change to create pump head, so to speak. And that head pressure is pushing all the way down. I did find with this type of hose, you've got to really lay it out. It likes to get kinked and bound up and reduce flow and all that good stuff. So yeah, I should have measured it better. 100 feet was too much. 50 feet would have done much better. Like a straight run would have done way better than this crazy curve that I had to create over here. So the tote is going down fast, and also, you know, a bit of a kink right here too. But I'll be done in minutes, and then I'm going to go work on that second tote. On this first tote, it is sitting right on there. I had put a 2-inch no hub band and slid that under there before, so that's what I'm going to try to do. Put the no hub band over there, and then I'll do an adaptation to this one. So let me work on that while that one's flowing down the hill. All right, while the other tank is draining down, I've got this Fernco or no hub band, whatever you want to call it, hose clamped on to the cam lock, hose clamped to a male adapter. I'm going to cut a short piece of 2-inch PVC, and then I'll have this cam adapter here I can hook the next hose to, and we're back in business. First tote is done. There's just a little bit left in it, and I've connected to the second tote. I'm going to open up the ball valve. We'll see if we can get any kinks. That one seems like it worked itself out. All right, and I'm going to set a timer on this one and time it. So this is where we are at 6.5 minutes. So that's not bad at all. And we got really good flow out of this tank. And I just showed you what it looks like in the manhole cover coming out into the tank. So I'm thinking we should be around 10 minutes by the time this thing's empty. All right, we're right at 10.5 minutes, and there's just a little bit of water still left in there. So maybe it's gonna be more like 11 minutes, 12 minutes. But that's a big difference than the like hour and a half it was taking at 3/4 using a pump. Significant improvement, and I can probably cut this hose to length and put hose clamps on it if I wanted to shorten it up, or just leave it like it is. All right, so right about 12 minutes and we're empty. And the original plan was also pull these to the side when they were empty, so you could get a straight shot off the last one. So that's what I'm going to do. With these totes pushed to the side, I got a straight shot on this one. We're going to go ahead and start a timer on this one also, and see how long it takes for comparison. And I'll walk it down to make sure it has no kinks either. Meanwhile, I'm going to walk down to the pond and check out things at the pond, but things are flowing well up here. So again, we're coming up on 12 minutes, and we barely have any water left as compared to where the connection is. So 12 minutes, give or take. Now it is getting reduced from 2 inches to 1.5 inches where it's going in down here at the bottom. So if we stayed full 2 inches the whole way, we could probably get more flow, obviously. I just didn't put a valve down here at the bottom. It's valve off, so that would have been an issue. But it's still flowing, so we'll get what's left in that tote. All All right, you can see how the water is. It's channeling right off the driveway, and it's coming on down. Veers off to the left, which is good. If it doesn't veer off to the left, you can see where a bunch of it has hit my dam, and then the dam has turned it, because you can see the accumulation of sand there. The dam has turned it, plus what's coming down that channel. They all meet up together, and they're headed towards the retention pond, so it's working. Didn't have to dig a massive ditch. Didn't have to put in a culvert. Just using what I naturally have. And the retention pond looks like it's doing very well down here. That's a lot more water than what we had in here. That's for sure. Now look at all this erosion. Water's been hauling down here. And this is why I wore my overboots too. So my shoes are inside of here, just zipped up. I got these off the Sportsman's Guide for real cheap. So what I did see this stuff accumulating. It looks like it's mulchy like material, like just runoff from the top of the surface here. So runoff of here, and then it gets to an accumulating point in here. But the water almost came into my boot. That's how deep it is, where I just stepped on the side over there. Man, this is fantastic. So this is where I dug all that clay out. Very slick up here. That's how come you know you're on clay when it gets wet. So next I'll be working right over here. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in. I can't drive in and out of there anymore, so I'm driving in and out through here. So I'll go ahead and fill that in, and then I'm gonna build up the back. Just layers and layers of clay. I'll probably start driving up here and dumping and dumping and dumping till I can drive across. But it looks great. All right, that's our update on the pond.